Live from WKMG, Local 6 News starts right now.
Now at 5:30, new video of the Falcon 9 rocket booster's crash landing. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
Some crazy stuff. I'm Matt Austin. Last Saturday, SpaceX launched its Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral. The primary mission was a success.
But the company tried to land the first section of the rocket on a floating pad in the ocean, and that part didn't work out so well. New at 5:30, Lisa Bell has new pictures and video of that failed attempt. It is cool looking, Lisa.
Really incredible stuff. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk tweeted pictures like this one out overnight, and the pictures of the crash were captured by a drone ship. But what you really need to see is the short video that he put on Twitter. It's just a few seconds long. Watch this. All right, you can see the rocket come down right there, and then it comes toward the camera, and then a huge explosion. And we're going to loop this for you. It really is some incredible stuff. As it just drops down out of the sky. Musk described what happened to the Falcon 9's first stage as it tried to land on a floating platform. He says the rocket's fins ran out of fuel and lost power just before impact. And then the rocket hit the platform, as you can see, hard at a 45-degree angle. The legs and the engine section were just smashed, and fuel combined with oxygen caused that huge explosion. Musk went on to tweet that the platform only needs minor repairs and that it was certainly an exciting day. Now, according to Musk, the next attempt to do another rocket landing on a platform will be in about 2 to 3 weeks. So we will certainly be following that very closely. Ginger and Matt.
And we will definitely be watching. Thank you, Lisa.
Crazy.
Well, the driver responsible for a crash that killed a 4-year-old girl inside a Central Florida daycare is going to prison.
It's one of our top stories we've been following since 5. The judge sentenced Robert Corchado to 40 years in prison. The judge called Corchado a habitual offender. Last month, a jury found Corchado guilty of 7 different charges, including leaving the scene of an accident involving death.
In Polk County, deputies arrested all 4 suspects in this pawn shop robbery and the shooting deaths of 2 women. Investigators think the crime spree started with the robbery and the women were killed while the suspects were hiding from deputies.
The state attorney filed charges against 2 Orlando police officers. Officer Chase Fugate is charged with battery from an incident last June, and Officer William Escobar is charged with battery and perjury from an incident last March. That incident was caught on cell phone camera by the victim's family. To get more on this story or any of our top stories, just head to our website, clickorlando.com. Click on Top Stories.
Well, in a matter of weeks, Orlando police will be losing their body cameras. The department has been using 50 of them as part of a study, but that study ends in 6 weeks. As Erica Rako explains, the police chief now has to figure out whether he wants to make them a permanent fixture.
Overall crime is down in the city of Orlando. Chief Mina says he's most proud of the decrease in property crimes, home burglary, something he says he had his patrol officers focus a lot on last year. Violent crime, however, increased a little bit since 2014. He says that will be a major focus this year.
We're going to use some of those same initiatives that we use to combat our residential burglaries, intelligence-led policing, task force, all our different units. So when we're having a problem in an area or a specific robbery problem or any type of crime, we're going to target that area.
Chief John Mina reviewed 2 big cases that brought forward internal investigations. The death of Carlene Brumaire-Jean, who was found submerged in a pond days after police searched the area, and the ongoing FDLE investigation into the shooting downtown where a police bullet shot and killed Maria Godinez as officers engaged suspect Cody Roach.
Officers are human beings. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. But the thing that the community needs to know is that when we know about those mistakes, they're investigated and we take corrective action, and the officers are disciplined if necessary.
This year, the chief says looking into purchasing body cameras and how to pay for them is priority.
Body cams and video in general, it changes behavior. I think the citizens will act more appropriately. The officers, of course, will act more appropriately if they know they're on camera.
That study with the 50 body cameras the department has been experimenting with is up in February. To order 400 of them for patrol officers would cost more than $1 million. It's something Chief Mina says he's looking closely at. In Orlando, Erica Rako, Local 6.
Well, after a week of gray, rainy days, today was just fantastic.
Felt so nice outside. Great day to be outside, and that is where we find Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells.
Tom, why didn't you take the rest of us out there with you?
Hey, come on up, man. There's plenty of room. Are you kidding me? I mean, look at this place. Gorgeous. It's wide open. The lake is empty. The only thing out there are a few ducks enjoying the afternoon. It is some kind of wonderful outside right now. Now, the sun is setting so low that I think I'll come back inside after this. But it's been a beautiful afternoon in Central Florida. I'll start this up weather with a look at radar, even though we really could skip radar. You take a look at it, it's clear as it can be. All across Central Florida, no radar echoes to go. Temperatures tonight are on the way down, but man, have they been fantastic compared to recent days. In Ocala right now, the last report was 63. The Village is 61. Down the road in Osceola County and Kissimmee, 63. Melbourne, 58. And right now in Sanford, the reading is 62 degrees. On the town forecast for tonight, we will slowly drop through the 50s until the 9 and 10 o'clock hour. We'll still be at about 53 or 54 degrees. Coming up, I'll take you hour by hour through the overnight lows tonight. They're not super warm. They're kind of on the chilly side, but that will be the bottom. And after bottoming out tonight, we start to warm up for the rest of your weekend. I'll be back to break out a beautiful sun-filled Saturday in minutes.
See you then. Thanks, Tom. In Volusia County, an early morning fire caused more than $2 million in damage to a local business. It all started around 4 this morning at Quality Growers Floral Company on State Road 11 in De Leon Springs. Firefighters battled the flames until they determined the business was a loss. Johnny Fernandez was at the scene all day and has the latest.
Volusia County firefighters spent all morning trying to put out this fire that caused over $2 million in damage and caused State Road 11 to close down. Volusia County firefighters spent more than 3 hours battling the blaze that destroyed the Quality Growers Floral Company. Owner Mark Wickham says he's been in business for more than 3 decades, supplying moss to flower shops nationwide. And once he got the call this morning, he knew his life would change.
I was sleeping and my next door neighbor called me and told me there was about 30 fire trucks here and the highway was shut down, and I knew it was a complete loss before I even got here.
Over 20 firefighters attempted to put out the fire, but highly flammable dry moss made the battle nearly impossible.
There's also propane tanks that were on the back of the building, 500 gallon or so propane tanks. That was our primary mission, to protect those so those didn't go off.
And even though the fire brought Wickham's business down during a crucial time just before Valentine's Day, he says he's moving forward.
We're going to do what we can to regroup and get back in production as fast as possible. We're going to do everything we can.
That was Johnny Fernandez reporting. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Well, British Prime Minister David Cameron and President Obama have spent the last 2 days talking about the economy and security.
Well, they talked this to the media this afternoon as well. Craig Boswell has the latest from the White House.
President Obama and British Prime Minister David Cameron met in the Oval Office to discuss shared challenges.
We covered a lot of ground.
In a joint newser, Cameron summed up the chief concern.
Security. Economic security, the jobs and the living standards of our citizens, and national security, the ability of our peoples to live safely and in peace.
They focused on security in the Middle East. Preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon is a priority for both countries.
Given their missile capabilities, it would threaten directly our closest allies, including Israel, and ultimately could threaten us.
President Obama says the recent Paris attacks underscore the need for further cooperation in the fight against terrorism.
American-British unity is enabling us to meet challenges in Europe and beyond.
Both countries will also be working together to keep citizens safe in a world made smaller by the internet.
Given the urgent and growing danger of cyber threats, we decided to expand our cooperation on cybersecurity to protect our critical infrastructure, our businesses, and the privacy of our people.
And the two leaders say with a slowing global economy, now is the time to push for a new trade pact between the U.S. and European Union. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
Now, the president and the prime minister say they have spoken with companies like Facebook, urging them to work with governments to find a balance between the need to track terrorists and the privacy of people.
The Centers for Disease Control says the flu is now at epidemic levels in the U.S., and 46 states are still reporting widespread flu activity. But I talked to Centricare doctors, and they say here in Central Florida, the flu has peaked, and we are already seeing fewer cases. Last year, the season didn't peak until the end of January. The CDC says this year's flu vaccine is only 23% effective, and it is the least effective vaccine in the last 10 years. And if you think you're coming down with the flu, the CDC says to go ahead and see a doctor right away. Medications like Tamiflu and Relenza can shorten the length and severity of the illness. And looking ahead, the CDC says drug makers are working on a universal flu vaccine, which could make the yearly flu shot a thing of the past.
Quick reminder, Monday is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Most schools are out. The banks and post office will be closed. Sunrail will not be running either. Sunrail will continue its normal day and night schedule on Tuesday. Demo of the Glass Bank in Cocoa Beach is moving on along. This is what it looked like about a week ago over my shoulder, and this is what it looks like now. That's what you call progress. The Glass Bank building was a landmark when it was built back in the 60s. And then it just kind of sat there, mostly empty since getting hit by Hurricane Francis 10 years ago. According to the city, taking the building down will cost about $145,000. We don't know yet how long demo will take.
And this weekend, work will start on the passenger capsules on the giant Orlando Eye. We first showed you the pods back in November. Crews hope to start installing the pods Sunday afternoon. Once complete, the observation wheel will give passengers a view from 400 feet up in the air. Up to 450 people can ride on the Eye at a time, and about 15 people can ride in each capsule. Now, each one is fully enclosed and air-conditioned. The Orlando Eye will open sometime this spring.
I was going to say, that has to be one of the last steps. I mean, they've got quite a bit done. Well, a big find for one space agency where they found a lost spacecraft 11 years later.
We just weren't looking in the right spot. But first, here's the top story trending right now on clickorlando.com. We told you about this a little while ago. A Florida man is $3 million richer thanks to his lucky dog. William Kelly got a few lottery scratch-off tickets for the family dog's Christmas stocking. It turns out one of those tickets was a $3 million winner. Kelly claimed the prize.
Man's best friend.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, if you want to share this story with your friends, just go to our website, clickorlando.com.
Usually they eat the lot.
What is it about the